Hello everyone. This is going to be a quick educational support content on the lane. In this game, I'm the Faceless Void with a 5-position Witch Doctor, and I'm against an Axe and a 4-position Phoenix, and Dubu's playing the Phoenix. And just like the carry role, there are things in the support role that matter every single game. And it's really important that these things become a priority to all support players, meaning that just like any other role, I want you to focus your attention on the right things. And that is going to be broken down for you by simply showing you what Dubu's doing in contrast to what the Witch Doctor's doing. And I noticed it specifically in lane because the support caliber was just so drastically different, it was like palpable. So in a way that's like me also venting my frustration, I'm going to do it as constructively as I possibly can. Make sure we highlight and you can maybe see the effect it has on the lane. Everything Dubu's doing that my Witch Doctor does not.
Banana slam jam.
So the 3 main mechanics I want to focus on, I'd say 4 main mechanics I want to focus on. 1, we have to treat range creeps differently than melee creeps. The reason why range creeps have to be treated differently, in the past they used to be worth a shit ton more. Nowadays, they're honestly pretty similar in terms of how much net worth, or how much golden experience the range creeps give. But they're positioned differently in lane. So it's like when we get these 2 lanes to meet each other.
First blood. Thanks and have fun.
The safety of me walking up to this creep is much different than the safety of farming these creeps. How much damage I'm going to take, all that kind of stuff. And as a carry, I've talked about a lot of times you want to punish the opponent's positioning. And if I'm positioned back here, the opponent can't really do much about it. But if I'm positioned up here, if they A-click me, they're not in range to aggro creeps. I'm not in range to, I'm in range to aggro creeps. So if I fight back, naturally it's going to create a disadvantageous situation for me. So think about it as this area is disadvantageous for them, this area is disadvantageous to me. And that's why range creeps need to be treated differently. So the way I look at this is that it's a position you don't want to be in, farming the range creep. And in this lane, we don't have a way to secure the range creep. If it's like a CM, your way to help is by, nuking the range creep so that I don't have to go get it. We're just trying to prevent denies, right? Because a lot of the side lanes is about who gets level 2 first. So it's all about the denies and such. So with that in mind, because we have no way of securing range creeps, like no nukes, and they have no nukes, the range creeps, you're going to see quite palpably how Dubu contributes to the range creeps compared to Ray Cone. With that in mind, since I don't want to be here, if the range creep's near half, it needs to die. It's an objective that I need, that the opponent can punish by me walking up to it. So if I walk too far away from it, they're going to deny it. If I walk too close to it, they're going to hit me. So because this range creep stays alive, it's basically holding me hostage to have to stay here. Like, I have to be within range of the melee creep. So when it gets down to half, if it's full, who cares, right? Because it can't be denied or anything. When it gets down to around half, this Witch Doctor needs to all in this range creep with me. Kill it so that we can get rid of it. So that it's not any longer holding me hostage. And you're going to see that first wave. Let's go ahead and play it out here. See how I'm trying to go for the range creep. This guy is busy fucking with this guy. And look at what Dubu's doing. He's fucking threatening to deny the range creep. Nothing this Witch Doctor does should be not this range creep. Whatever it is, this range creep needs to be involved. If he's harassing the Axe, it's because Axe is the only one contesting the range creep. And it's going to secure me the range creep. If he's harassing the Phoenix, it's because it's giving me the range creep. If he's stunning somebody, it's so I get the range creep. Right? That's all that freaking matters. And instead, I'm sitting here like this creep's gonna get denied, and then look at Dubu, right? He attacks it twice to make sure when I'm out of range, it gets denied. Notice how much contribution the Witch Doctor had to the range creep and how much the Phoenix had. Major blunder that should never happen as a support. That range creep is my baby. Please don't let the opponent Kill my baby. Let me kill it. Or you can kill it. I don't care. I just don't want them to deny it. So, first step. That's the first one. Fundamental blunder number 1. He ends up doing it like 3 or 4 more times in this lane, but let's ignore those. Secondly, lane equilibrium. So, we've talked about it in numerous coaching sessions. Lane equilibrium. Carry wants it here. Offlaner wants it here. We could talk about all the reasons why, but just trust me, if you haven't watched all the other videos, offlaner wants lane equilibrium here, carry wants it here. BSJ, when do I pull as any support player? Well, if you're a 5 position, you're trying to get the lane from here to here. If you're a 4 position, you're trying to get the lane from here to here. So any pull you do is about changing the lane equilibrium to where you want it to be. Okay? So carry wants it here. Offlane wants it here. Loud and clear? Cool. So, what that usually means in the super early game is that the 5 position can abuse the small camp. Because when the lane's about right here, which is where it's always going to be, right, at the very beginning, unless maybe of shakers like fissure blocking or something, the 5 position can walk over, pull the small camp, and keep the lane here. On the other hand, the 4 position can abuse the big camp, right? Cool. So everything this Witch Doctor needs to do in lane, harassing everything, needs to be thinking about the lane equilibrium. If anything he does pushes the lane, guess what? Next thing he's going to do, go pull the small camp. If anything he's going to do doesn't affect the creep lane equilibrium, meaning it's going to stay where it is, everything he needs to prevent them from doing means stopping them from messing with it. Don't let the opponent ruin the lane equilibrium. If I'm in the safe lane and the lane equilibrium's here, do whatever I can to keep it here. If I'm in the off lane and the lane equilibrium's here, do whatever I can to keep it here. So if I'm a 4 position player, don't let the 5 position pull. If I'm a 5 position player, don't let the 4 position pull. I assure you, if you watch high-level support players, they will fuck with the pull non-stop. If the lane is where they want it to be, they will not let the opponent pull. Support players like Dubu, who know the lane's not where they want it to be, are always going to attempt to fix it. They are always going to attempt to alter the lane equilibrium in their favor. That's what they're going to do. So, if you don't stop them, they're going to do it, right? And the beauty about it is in your 2K games and my 8K games, the opponent support oftentimes is not going to stop you. So, that's awesome. All you have to do is just do it, right? So let's watch Dubu. He's telling his axe to push the wave. Look, tells his axe to play forward. Gets the pull off. And you may say, BSJ, you end up getting this big creep. Dubu helped you out. He gave you extra gold. I assure you, nothing in the fucking world matters other than this lane being right fucking here. You hear me, chat? You hear me, people on YouTube? Nothing fucking matters. I don't care how many fucking jungle creeps I'm getting. I want the lane right fucking here. I don't care. If the lane moves to here, I don't care how much gold I get. It is a net loss. Because all of the trades that happen here are in favor of them. All the trades that happen here are in favor of us. So, the longer the lane's here, the more we lose the lane. The longer it's here, the more we win the lane. One of the even most basic reasons why is because the tower gives 3 armor and 1 HP regen. So if I'm near the tower, I get more regen, more armor. So every trade goes in my favor. If you want the most basic reason why I want the lane here, that's number 1. Needless to say, notice how the four mechanics I wanted to talk about were range creeps, lane equilibrium, and then abusing the small camp and the large camp. So I kind of tie 3 of them together here. So what's going to happen is, and if you want to know if your pulls are good or not, watch what happens to the lane equilibrium. The lane doubles up in my face, and guess what Dubu's gonna do again? Because there's 6 creeps everywhere. Guess what he's gonna do again? Look at what my Witch Doctor does. Yeah, woo! Let's sit back here and let him pull. Woo! And guess what? Now, everything I do, I'm being held hostage to being over here, right? Notice how everything Dubu's doing is forcing me over here. Now that he's made this move and Witch Doctor hasn't stopped it at all, the lane is now going to push out. Look, I have more creeps than they do. And every time, I can't back up. All the crap that's going on over here, I have to be over here. I have to tank the damage. I can't sit underneath my tower. I can't do anything because I keep having to tank that extra bit of damage. And now, after 2 successful pulls, which have also made me take a shit ton more damage, the lane is now near their tower. Obviously, it took a lot for the offlaner combo to pull this off. And in 7.27, it's actually very favored to the safe laner most of the time. Because, to be honest with you, in most 2v2s, the support has to fuck up real fucking hard in the 5 position to allow this to happen. Like, this should just never happen. As a carry, it's your job to preserve lane equilibrium as best you can. As a 5, it's your job to prevent the opponent from disrupting it. That is your job. So, needless to say, even though we end up killing the Axe a few times, Dubu actually gets level 6 at the same time I do on a 4-position Phoenix, surprises me, and then kills us both with Egg at like 6 minutes into the game. And it's all this trading efficiency. I had to spend an extra ton of money on regen, and I know it sounded like I was raging this whole time, but I can't emphasize enough how big of a swing what Dubu did and what Yellow didn't do had on this lane matchup. I hope you guys learned something from these core fundamentals of laning support. A little bonus note. A little bonus note on our lane support shenanigans here. Notice how when Dubu had the lane not where he wanted it to be, what did he do? He threatened the pull non-stop. That's what he did, right? Now look at where the lane is. As a 5-position player, you're supposed to threaten the pull non-stop. Because there's 2 options if you threaten the pull. 1, they let you pull. Or 2, the Phoenix contests you, and I'm 1v1 instead of a 2v2 out here. Anything's better than us 2v2ing in the place where the lane we don't want it to be. Not only did we let the lane get out of control, but we also did nothing to fix it. Technically, based on my coaching sessions, I could have walked over and pulled myself. However, in this case, I know Dubu would just stop me, and it wouldn't work. So it's a problem where, because sometimes the enemy support is this good, you just can't actually do it yourself as a carry. But the positive is, for most of you, if the lane looks like this, you should strongly consider pulling the small camp yourself. Because at this point, you're just going to take a lot more damage, you're going to have to ferry yourself a lot of regen, and you're basically just going to fall massively behind in terms of your timings. So, yeah, little bonus note there. Why I want the lane here.
So
That's number 1. So
what you're saying is I need Dubu on my team to win Dota. Got it.
okay, we're going to have to clip that. YouTube editor, worth my inconvenience for the $3 or whatever. So,